And each one of us has what I call a starting gate position on this triangle, which means that we're sort of set up in our families to play a particular starting gate role in our family that we then very often carry into life. In my family, I was a starting gate victim. I was the second born of 3, and the story about me and my family, because we all have sort of a lineage story, right? It's sort of like when you're born, you come into a family, and it can just be based as simply as the birth order you were born in. Your firstborn child, there's a set of expectations that being the firstborn, it's like the system needs you to be, and you live up to that need and expectation. Second-born is a very different thing. For me, the second-born child, my brother was the one in the family. His job was to bring worth to the family, and he did that by excelling in what he did. He was sort of the family hero. For me, my job was to bring health to the family, and the way I did that was by being the problem of the family. Do you see how that would bring health? Because, see, the rest of the family can get together and say, if it weren't for Lynne, if she would just straighten out her act, if she wasn't so wild and crazy and so uncontainable and uncontrollable, then this would be a healthy family. So all we need to do is fix her. Can you hear the victim consciousness in that? Because it's somebody else, namely me. And I bought that story. I believed it. I bought it that I was the problem. And what I decided that meant about me was that there was something wrong with me, that I was just bad. Well, and then I figured out what it was. At about the age of 5, I figured out, because, and with parents' help, they let me know it was because I was so selfish and self-centered. And I bought it. That must be it. I'm selfish and self-centered, and therefore the family is unhealthy because of me. That was my story. That was me taking on that victim. I'm a problem. And being a problem, what do you think I needed? That was my starting gate position. I'm walking through life believing that there's something wrong with me and I need to be fixed. And so what do you think I'm looking for in relationship? Please, somebody, fix me. I need a rescuer. And so I'm looking for somebody who's going to come fix it for me. Now, because I believe I'm defective, and that's a kind of a core belief of victims. They tend to believe that there's something less than about them. Rescuers, on the other hand, do not see themselves as victims. They see themselves as the one with the answer. The starting gate rescuer is here to fix others, because what they really believe is that if I really fix you good enough, then you'll love me. Then I'll get my needs met. So the rescuer needs a victim. They need a project. They need somebody that they can fix so that they can feel better. Can you relate to this? I know you all aren't like this, right? But you might know somebody. Yeah? So that's the starting gate rescuer and the victim. And that's a match made in hell. Guaranteed to bring misery. Yeah? Because one of the things that happens with the victim, once I was looking for a rescuer, but then there was also this part of me got a little tired of always being rescued, of always being the one looking up. I say that the victim gets a crick in their neck from always looking up at the rescuer who's got all the answers, knows what I need to do, and is busy laying it out for me. So the thing about it is this victim, which I grew up, and this was my starting gate role, gets a crick in their neck from always looking up, and the resentment, they just decide, well, you know what, you're not all that. So they move up through their resentment, they move into the persecutor. And the way a starting gate victim persecutes is by sabotaging the rescuer's efforts to save them. And so they do it in all sorts of ways. Yes, but is a great way that a victim has of sabotaging the rescuer. You know, the rescuer says, okay, now here's what you need to do. And the victim says, no, well, yes, but that won't work. Yeah, but I've already tried that and that didn't work. Yeah, but. So sabotaging there. Or you lend them your car and they return it 3 days later or empty. Or you give them money and you never see it again. and so on and so on. The victim shows you that they just show you. Well then, so when the victim moves up here, where does the rescuer just moved? Rescuers, again, they don't like to see themselves as victims, though. And so a rescuer and victim is the martyr. You know, the martyr, the one who says, after all I've done for you, I've sacrificed my life for you, I've given you this and that, and sacrificed all my needs to take care of you, and this is the appreciation I get? That's a rescuer and victim. And then they get a little resentful. They move up to persecutor, and the way a rescuer persecutes is they just, okay, I'm writing you off, that's it. I'm not saving you anymore. I'm no more money. I'm giving you the cold treatment, kicking you out of my life. But then there's something that always hooks them back into rescue, and it's usually one of two things. It's either pity or guilt. For rescuers, they just, oh my goodness. Well, it's sort of like, well, you know, I'm being a little hard on them. Rescuers do not see themselves as victims, and they hate to think of themselves as persecutors. That just is mean. They don't like to see themselves as mean. They like to see themselves as... The starting gate persecutor is a person who believes that the world is dangerous. Starting gate persecutor has a belief that says, the world is dangerous, and therefore I have to get you before you get me. And so persecutors attack thinking they're defending, which is really what all attack is. That's why A Course in Miracles says, the best defense is no defense. Because as soon as I start defending myself, it looks like this to the world. And what does this look like? It looks like attack. So what do you think it's going to invite from the other? Attack. Now, what have I just proven? That I'm right, the world is dangerous. That's the story of a persecutor. And we all have these stories that we're living out. It's like we're walking out in the world with our story, and we're just proving that it's true. And we carry these stories in our bodies. You know, from the bully, the sort of the persecutor kind of. Notice there's no breathing. Holding my breath. Liable to pass out any minute. But I bet you're scared. Yeah, and the victim, you know, and the rescuer. Because they're going in about 100 directions at the same time, right? Yeah, because they've got so much to do and so many people to save. And the one person that's not on their list is them. And the only person they can save is them. The only person we can save is us. And so this is the place that we are scripted from.